Alright, and today we're going to figure out how to make a light system for your vehicle, where you turn on the lights and headlights, and also brake lights and reverse lights will also be covered. This whole lighting system will be sorted in this video, so sit back, grab a coffee, whatever, and let's get into it right now. Alright then, so what we need to do first is in Blender you need to get your model, and you gotta make sure that you have different materials for each light. So basically, let's go to face select mode. So each of these lights are different. You got the reverse light, the blinker or the signal indicator light, and then you've got the two red ones. I'm going to presume the tail light or side light is the bottom one, and the brake light will probably be the middle one. So what you need to do is you select all of these. If you press C, you can select, you know, be a bit more careful than than that, but you select all of this section here, and then create a material by pressing the plus, and then new, and then call it something. I've already done it, so I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get rid of that. Get rid of that. So for this one, I have got brake lights. If I select brake light, you can see I've selected all the brake light there, and the same on the opposite side. So that is all the brake light, and then this one here is the tail light. So if I select that, you can see I've selected all of those to be the tail light material. And then we've got the reverse lights there and there. I think usually only one of them actually lights up on a car, reverse lights, but not, maybe different by different model. But I'm just going to do two. So they're both reverse lights. So there you go, and those are the indicators, or the blinkers in this case. So just set up a material for each of these lights. They have to be separate. I didn't do that on the first video. If you saw the first video, I've only just done this, so I'm gonna have to re-import it. So if you followed along with me, then that's fine. We can just re-import this model into the existing Unreal project, and it should be okay. If you haven't watched the first video, there is a link in the description to it, and it basically shows how to set up a car in Blender, set up these bones here, and import it into Unreal and get it working. So that was the first video, so you can check that out in the description if you want. But this video we're just going to focus on getting these lights working, and the headlights as well. By the way, you need to do those as well. So if I select the headlights, you can see headlight transparent _M. I don't know why it's called transparent, but there you go, it is. I think it's because the halos are behind, but I'm not going to bother with that. So these are the headlight materials, and the indicators are of course the blinkers there. I also don't know why it's got _M at the end. It should be at the beginning, but there we are. I'm not going to mess around with that for this tutorial. We're just going to crack on. So once you have set up a separate material for each of these lights sections here, basically we're gonna have to export this again. So select all, go into export, FBX, and I have actually set a preset, wrong one, static mesh. I want to select the static mesh, which basically means everything's selected there because I selected everything. So check that box, select mesh only, no, mesh and armature, and forward should be X forward, and then Z up. Apply unit, geometry is face in the smoothing. I'm going to apply modifiers, and armature, take off, make sure these are unchecked, shouldn't be checked. Bake animation, we don't have any animation, so I can turn that off. So that's it. So we can select our BMW that we did before and just export over it and save over that. Once it is done, let's go into Unreal. Alright then, so in your Unreal project, and if you followed along with my last video bringing in a car into Unreal and setting it up, this is the car. It's the same car. I just made some changes as far as the terrain around me. I've dressed a little scene here, made it nighttime so we can see the lights working in all their glory. and that's it. You don't need to do any of that. That's just me. I've changed the car color to red, changed the body to red there, and I've renamed some of the materials. Again, not important, it's just my preference. I've made all the lights, given them the name of M_light_lights, and then the name: brakes, halos, head, reverse, so on. We're only going to need the brakes, the headlights, the reverse lights, and the tail lights. So select all of those, hit enter to open them up, and we need to make a little change in here. What we want to do is pull off of this and type in multiply, and then out of the B pin we're going to make a scalar parameter, and we're going to name this, and this is important, the names, because we're going to need to access them from code later. So this being the tail light, we're going to call this tail emit. Nice and simple, short, and to the point. Oh, I've saved this. Look, I forgot to plug in the pin there. They take ages to save materials. I don't know why Unreal takes so long. Right, plug that into the emit and then save it. Alright, with that one done, we can close it, and then the reverse light, we're going to do the same. I should have copied and pasted, but there we go. Multiply, and out of here we're going to put scalar parameter, and this one we're going to call reverse emit. Reverse emit. Plug that into the emissive color, and I'm just going to copy that and then save the file. Just for speed, copy these two boxes here, and we will be moving along a lot quicker. So just paste them in there, connect that up, and rename this. What's this one? The headlights. So we're going to type head emit, click save, and finally we've got the what's this? The brake lights. So in here we're going to call it brake emit. You can give these whatever names you want, but of course you need to remember them, so make them simple and easy. So that done, that's our material set up. So inside the BMW blueprint, or whatever vehicle you're using, this is the code we had from last time. So we've got the camera controls this side, and we've got the move and steer controls this side. Ignore this variable upside down here. This is something else I'm working on, so you won't have that, so just ignore it. So what we're going to do out of here is, at the end of this, we're going to pull out, and we're going to say compare float, and we're going to use the access in value from the accelerator and reverse. We're going to pull that into the input. So basically what this is going to do is going to get one of three values. So if you press in the W key, which is accelerate, it's going to give a value of 1. If you press in the S key, which is reverse, it's going to give you a value of -1. And if you're not holding any key, it'll give you a value of 0. And I'll show you where you're getting them from. If you go to your project settings and go to the inputs, you've got here accelerate, reverse, W, which is a value of 1, S, which is a value of -1. So there's only one of three values: 1, -1, or 0 if you're not pressing anything. So that's what we're going to work with here. And what we're going to do is we're going to compare it with a -1 value. And then off of the greater than, so if it's greater than -1, in other words, if it's 0 or 1, we are going to set scalar parameter value on materials mesh. So the mesh is the car. It's a shame it doesn't have a way of accessing a particular material. So what it'll do is it'll look for a parameter value that we give it in all the materials that are associated with the mesh. So what we're going to type in here is brake emit, and then what we'll just do is copy and paste that, plug that on in there, and on this one we will type reverse emit. So it'll find the values, that the scalar values we've made for the reverse and the brakes, and give them a 0 value, which basically means they're going to be off. So if the car is not reversing, the brake lights will be off, and the reverse lights will be off as well. The equal to, we're going to pull out and do a sequence. just to make things look a bit neater. And what I'll do is I'll copy and paste those. So out of there, out of the 0 pin, we're going to go, the brake light is going to be 0 again, because now we are reversing, because it's equal to -1. So we want the reverse lights to be on, so we're going to give that a value of, let's say, 100. We can fine tune that later, but for now 100. We'll compile that and just have a little play. So if I'm going forward, then I hit, there you go, reverse lights come on, but the reverse lights are coming on when I press the S, so it's coming on as a brake light. So that I've actually done a bit wrong. The reverse light should be 0, the brake light should be 100. That'll make more sense. So if I go forward and I hit S, there we go, brake lights come on, but they do stay on, so we're going to fix that in a sec. So what we're going to do here is we're going to, off of the second sequence pin, we're going to drag down and do another compare on float. We're going to get a reference to our vehicle movement, and we're going to get our speed. We're going to get our forward speed, there you go. And we're going to use that as the input, and we're going to compare it with 0. So what we're going to do is, if it's less than 0, we are going to just copy and paste these again. If it's less than 0, plug that into that, and the brakes then should turn off, and the reverse light should turn on. So put that as 100, and we just test that out. If I'm going forward and I hit S, brake lights come on, and as it starts reversing, the reverse lights come on. So go forward, brakes, and then when it starts moving back, it switches to the reverse lights. So that is looking good, as is. So now what we want to do is actually make some lights, because right now is all we're getting is the glow of the actual bulb, but we need actual light. Because if you look at this, let me go into full screen. If I back up to these rocks here, you don't get any light on the rocks at all. It's just the actual bulbs that are glowing, and that does not look right. So to do that, let's go into the viewport, and we're going to add a light up here. We're going to go for a rectangle light. Let's go to the back of the car. It's facing the wrong way there, so let's go to rotation, rotate at 180 degrees. And then we're going to put it to, I'm not sure, about there. Drag it over, drag it up. Yeah, that'll be okay. We're just going to make this a little smaller here, something like that, and we can just move it into place. So what we'll do is we'll name this rear light underscore L for left, and then we'll just duplicate and make that an R for right, and drag that over, yep, over there. So we've got 2 of them. We're going to bring the intensity down to, try 100. The color we're going to change in code, so leave that as is. So what we're going to do here is we are going to, at the top row here, so if the car is driving forward or stopped, what we want to do is we're going to drag out of here and type set visibility, and we want it to be the rear light, either one. We got the rear light L, so let's grab the rear light R as well and drag that in. So we're going to set the visibility to off, and then what we're going to do is copy that, paste it on here. So this one right here is the brakes, so the brakes will be on this one, so we're going to set it to on. But we're also going to set the light color, that's it, there. Copy the L reference and plug that in as well, so we've got them both. Now for the brakes, obviously we want it to be red, so we're going to go red. Okay, didn't work. Why didn't it work? Oh, because I need to put them both up. So red, there you go. And then what we do is we copy and paste that down here when we're actually reversing. and the reverse light is on, emitting. We're going to keep it on, and we're going to change this to a white light. And that's it. So compile, save. So now there you go, it's now giving off light as well as just showing up as a glow. So when you're backing up, you can actually see, these lights are a bit bright, I will say. So what we'll do is set the intensity. Oh, that's at 5,000, that's why. Let's go, I don't know, 60. Grab this one, set to 100, let's set that to 60 as well. Let's see what that does, see if that looks more realistic. Yeah, that looks okay. There you go. Looking very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Alright, so what about the headlights? So the headlights, what we're going to do is go to the project settings, go to input, and on the action mappings at the top, hit the plus button. Rename this to lights. And then we're going to give it a keyboard control of L. Does that make sense? And you can do a gamepad one if you want, but what we're going to do over here now is we're going to type in lights, and we get the action mapping of lights that we just created. And then basically what we want to do, set the visibility. Oh, I copied and pasted everything. Alright, get rid of those, and the light color. We're going to pull off the pressed, do a flip flop, and on the A we're going to set the visibility to on. Copy and paste that. On the B we're going to set it to off by unchecking the box. Now we need a reference for these lights, so we need to create some headlights. So if you just grab these two, and then we'll duplicate them and rename them to, you guessed it, headlight R, and headlight L. So if we grab those two, drag them to the front of the car, and then we're going to do a rotation 180 degrees, and just readjust them to be right there. Okay, so go into the event graph, drag these two out so we've got references here. We're going to plug them both in to the targets. Tidy it up a little bit there. And we're also going to need our headlight to glow, so we're just going to grab this, copy, paste, plug that in there, change the name to head emit because that's what I named it. Turn this on to, I don't know, 100 maybe, and then we're going to copy that and paste it there, plug it into that. I'm going to turn this to 0 and then compile, and all should work fine in theory. Let's have a look. So if I press the L key, the headlights come on and go off. But we also want, if we just grab those, do another set here, but in this one we're going to change the name to tail emit, and tail emit. So now the tail light should come on as well. Yep, there's the tail lights. We don't have any light coming off of them though, but what we can do there is set, if we can set the visibility here, of the lights that we have there already. We want to set them to red. We could take that off because we don't need that. And what we can actually do is also set light intensity. Oh, set intensity, real light. Got R and L there, so we can make the lights less intensive. So we can put, say, 40, and then we can compile that. Let's have a go. So if I press the L, oh, my lights are on already. That's what I made a mistake there. So I need to select these and turn these to turn the visibility off on all of these lights. We don't want any of these on to start with. Compile, press play. So if I press L, I get lights. My side lights, my headlights are on, or tail lights if you from the States, I think you call them tail lights. So they come on and off when I press the L key. And if I drive forward, then I hit the brakes, brake lights, and the reverse lights come on as well. They do look a bit bright, I'm not gonna lie. So let's go to where's the intensities? The intensities are here. So if I change that to 50, it's half it. Change this one, 50, and then I think that's it. These ones, 50, 50. All right, let's try that, see if it looks a little nicer. So I turn them on, got the tail lights, got the headlights. We've also got the brake lights and the reverse lights. You can adjust that anyway to your liking, but there you go. These tail lights are not giving off any kind of light though. Where are we here? So if we turn it on, the visibility is on. The tail lights, color is red. Intensity is 0. Alright, so perhaps the best thing to do would be to create another set of lights just for the rear tail lights. So if we just select those two, we can duplicate and call them tail lights or side lights if you like. I'm just going to call them tail lights. And then in here, then we're just going to change these references right here, delete all of those, bring out taillights instead. Plug them all into the appropriate targets, and in theory we should have, there you go, now our taillights actually give off light as well. And again, you can adjust the power of them. There you go. So that is, whoop. So there you go, and that is the end of that. All's working, all is looking good. You can adjust obviously the brightness, like I said, to suit your needs, and you can also set up other lights like fog lamps at the bottom of the car. You can set those up, it's the same process. So there you go. If you found this helpful, please consider subscribing and hitting that like button and tickling the little bell, as that way you won't miss out on any future videos. Also, I am working on a game that I'll be releasing on Steam hopefully in the coming months, so if you'd like to support me, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any announcements. For that, it's a horror game. But anyway, that is me. I'm out. I'm done here. My job is done. I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Ciao, blau.